Okay, so we never did get much fog lifting yesterday, but today it's going good. But gosh dang, that stuff out there it's quite a bit bigger than it actually looks. You know, from up here, it's nice wood, and that lift tree, because it's side hill and most of the pole is going to be this way. They put 4 guy lines in it, but they put all 4 uphill, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying if it was me, I probably would have put 3 uphill and still kept 1 down. And I'll zoom in and you guys can watch that tree and you'll see why, because as that tree's bouncing, it's bouncing uphill because there's no guy lines holding it down. Oh, it's almost ready to buckle. There's a couple of them that I can't believe it didn't buckle it. But anyways, so they went a little bit too high in it too. Probably only needed to be about 30 feet. And putting the extra guy line uphill was a good idea. But I wouldn't, if I was going to put 4 uphill, I would have put a 5th one in it so I could have 1 downhill. Now again, not saying my way is the best way or their way is wrong. I'm just saying it's not working. So, oh, and then of course they get a little tiny turn this time, so it won't even. The heck? Oh my God, that last foot, you just gotta have that. Oh my God, that's so stupid. Now we got a wrap. That's so stupid. No, it's not stupid. It's so silly. The hook will be a foot from the bottom of the carriage, and instead of just going ahead on it, they gotta pick it up that foot. It's so. Hello. So, anyways, can't hardly see that, can you? I don't know if that's any better or not. November 17th, 1992, I was working for a guy down in Florence, and I'd been working on their 137 Washington, pretty decent machine, and we were driving past this unit. He actually had 3 towers up there on this. It was called Romanos. And it's a steep, nasty, dirty, brushy SOB is what it is. Anyway, so they were cutting this unit. And it had some dandy wood in it. Real dandy wood. And it was steep. It had 3 hogsbacks in it on one side. So we're going to have to go over 3 ridges to get logs. And a couple of different times people had commented about how steep and nasty it was, and that you know, they hoped that it wasn't their yarder that was going over there. I hope I don't get stuck over there type thing, you know. And one guy said, whoever, he goes, I tell you right now, whoever goes over there, they're going to get somebody hurt. Because it's a nasty, nasty job. Hang on. It's going to get loud. Nice. Should have the camera pointed the other way now that that tree is up out. I'll make sure to swing the camera around the other way next time. Anyways, yeah, that tree's down. Anyways, so he said, yeah, one thing's for sure. Oh, get out there! Okay, anyway, so as it ended up, it was our yard or our crew. We went over. They shut the Washington down, and we took a 737 Skagit. Couldn't remember which one it was. No? Yeah, it was a 737. Anyways, we shotgunning, and it was nice wood. But like I say, it was steep and brushy and nasty. Holy smokes. And I had two greenhorn choker setters on the rigging with me. Both of them I went to school with, were friends of mine. One of them actually was the guy that ran that West Coast Falcon of Stacy's for a little bit, that Charlie. So, anyways, sitting there and got my choker set, and I went over to help. I think I was helping Charlie set his choker because he had the metal choker. We was putting it on a big log, and it was tight, and we was fighting it. And I heard just a limb snap was it, just no big deal. And out of nowhere, a log rolled down the hill. And like I say, I never heard it. Just sounded like somebody was walking through the brush, and took one step, and it wasn't like it made continual noise. But anyways, it rolled up against me and then kind of, settled back and sat down. And, it didn't hurt or anything. I figured I was okay. Well, so we finished setting the choker, and I went to stand up, and I was like, uh-oh, this ain't right. And then it hurt like crazy, and I couldn't, it was like I had no muscle control. I was like, what the heck? So I sat down on the log real quick. Well, I wore those 16-inch top West Coast boots. So, when you pulled those off, it took forever to pull them off anyways. And I unlaced them and started pulling. Well, it was like I couldn't reach out far enough to pull my boot off. And so I yelled at one of those guys and was like, help me. And they grabbed my boot and yanked it off, and when they did, my foot went, and it hurt then. Oh boy. Why are we... I swear, we just talked about this. You don't have to pick it all the way up. You don't have to. There's no reason to pick it all the way up. There's extra whistles that we don't really need. Anyways, so, yeah, he yanked my boot off my ankle like that, just above my ankle, and it hurt. And I was like, put it back on, put it back on. And they're like, we can't. So, the other guy, Eric, he panicked. I'm like, hey, you need to get me a couple of sticks. We got to make a splint. Well, he couldn't find 2 sticks to make a splint out of. He kept bringing me logs. And I'm like, that ain't going to work. So he finally, Charlie went and got a couple of sticks, and they cut my sock and made a splint out of my sock. And they got the man basket back, and nobody come out. Nobody off the landing, nothing. The hook tender comes out of the back end, and he says, yep, it's broke. I'm like, really? And he says, well, and I forget the artery engineer's name, he says, just tell him I got to get my lunch pail, pick me up the back end, and he turns around and takes off. And I'm like, so here I got these two guys, and it's nasty ground. So, and I mean, I only weighed about 140 pounds, but 140 pounds dead weight in brush sucks. So we yelled over the talkie tutor, and the chaser come out to the edge of the landing, looked over the hill, and he was like, nope, that's too steep for me. So nobody come out to help these 2 guys. And they tried packing me, and they dropped me 4 or 5 times in just a few feet. So I whistled the rigging back in and yelled over the talkie tutor and told him to send out a bunch of mollies. So they sent out a bunch of mollies, and we put double full roll mollies on every corner, and then just ran a choker through them. And I told those guys, just pick me up far enough to get me off the ground and run it in. Well, that didn't work out so great. I figured we'd go up a little, and then pick it up, run it up a little as you started up the ridges. No, they're like, well, we'll just pick you up high enough to go over the ridges from start. And it was only probably about 50, 60 feet high, but it sure seemed like it was about 5,000 feet. And they ran me in. Thank God the old boy that was running yarder was pretty smooth. So the old boy, he landed me down there, and they popped the chokers out. And the guy had a bunch of crappy old crummy, junky crummies, cattle cars. And ours had gotten bad enough that he had to replace it. So he bought a pretty nice Suburban. And so they left me in the basket, and they had to take the back seat out of that Suburban, just slide me in there. Well, we're standing around, or we're waiting on the landing, waiting. I'm like, let's go, guys. They're like, well, we're waiting to get a hold of the woods boss, because, we don't want to leave that seat up here on the landing overnight, unattended. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I go, we're just sitting here hanging out till we hear what he wants you to do with his seat. So they do. They wait till they hear from him. I'm like, I don't give a two pieces of monkey crap about that seat. So down off of Romano's we come. Well, you go down Smith River, and it's probably an hour and a half drive, an hour and 45 minutes. Well, there's a store along the way. I'll be a son of a bitch, they stop for beer. Well, this Suburban being new, I'm gonna wiggle that log on you, Jason. They wouldn't allow us to smoke in it. Come on, Jason, you gotta move that thing. Jason. There we go. So, anyways, I go, you guys gotta be kidding me. They're like, oh, it's a long line. So they stopped for beer. But while they were inside the store getting beer, I lit a cigarette. Crummy driver comes out, he says, you can't be smoking in the plumbing. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be drinking beer either. Oh, that's right. So I smoked. So anyways, yeah, they ran me into town, Florence. And actually they dropped me off at Reedsport. And Reedsport, they couldn't do anything with it. So the next, why did he pick that right to the car? Right to the, everything. Anyways, Reedsport, they couldn't do anything with it, so they shipped me up to Florence. I stayed the night there in Florence. I was actually living there, but I stayed the night in the hospital. And they did surgery the next morning. And then, hang on. It's done! Oh, jeez. Oh, I got a little rough with it. Oh, Lord. So they did the surgery, and a few days later I went home, but about 5 years later, I actually won a $284,000 lawsuit against the doctor that did the surgery on my leg, which we'll have to do a story time about that some other time, because it's a long story. But, so yeah, it'd be the 25th or 27th anniversary since I broke my leg. long gone. Let's flip you guys around here and see if we can't get a little bit of that tree bouncing. Yeah, I don't think it's going to zoom in enough, but that's the tree right there. Our next road is going to be cool. See that dark spot, that kind of that open dark spot right there? That's where his tail hold is. We're going to be out there quite a ways. Alright, here we go. That's our new hot rod slinger on this turn. Those guys take turns. One does it one turn, one does it the other. Watch that lift tree. See that thing is jerking uphill? Now right here it's gonna get wild. Oh yeah, okay. I'll put a little bounce to her. Look at that thing. Can't believe we're not pulling it over. Anyway, so, yeah, that's our wiggly little tree getting kind of crazy. Hey, jump off here now. Hope you guys like that little story time there, and you could hear it and all. I tried to pause it in between turns, whatnot. Hats will be here just a few days. I'll be getting a hold of everybody and letting you know when I'm shipping them to you. Stay safe, get long, friends, huh? Come out.